Now, if you live and work in the UK, you risk becoming one of 10 million workers who could lose their jobs to robots. That is according to a recent study by consultancy firm PricewaterHouse Coopers. The report suggests that more than 30% of UK jobs could be lost within the next 15 years, with the majority being lower skilled jobs. Sectors such as transport and manufacturing are at the highest risk of automation. Other areas that require more complex communications, like education and healthcare, were seen as being relatively safer. The research says the findings do not necessarily mean higher unemployment levels, but would rather lead to more income inequality. And that's because higher salaries will go to those with more knowledge and skills. For more on this, futurist Ray Hammond joins me now from London. Ray, thank you ever so much for being with us here on Money Talks. I'm very glad you're with us, and I've always wanted to interview a futurist. Firstly, let me ask you, how do you arrive at your conclusions about how the world is going to be 50 to 100 years from now?
By studying trends, by looking very carefully at history, and by trying to escape the bias of the present. You just mentioned reports that suggested people are going to be put out of work by robots. I think those reports are largely mistaken because they're linear projections. And what people like me do is we try to avoid that bias. History teaches us that humans are very adaptable.
But PricewaterHouse Coopers is a very reputable company, and these are some scary predictions, though, right?
Well, I think what they're saying is accurate, but the implication, you mustn't draw the implication. What they're saying is all of these jobs can be automated, and therefore the assumption is those people will become redundant. That is the bit that's wrong. These jobs will be automated, but people will then be free to do other, more creative things. There may be a small number of people who cannot adapt and do more complex work. But basically, from here until 2030, we are not at risk of very high technological unemployment. After that, it's a different story.
Right. Let's assume that you're right for a minute. That you are going to get productivity gains from automation. But if you're a policymaker, how do you balance those findings or those assumptions with protectionist trends that we're seeing around the world today?
Well, it's a very interesting question you've asked, because when, for example, the American president said he's going to bring back American jobs, he is going to find, to his horror, that the jobs he creates in the United States are largely going to be done by robots.
Okay.
And you said in your introductory piece that basically the jobs of the future belong to those humans with the higher skills.
Ray Hammond in London. I'm really sorry we're out of time. We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much.